As I carried my father's ashes on the train recently across the French border through the Pyrenees, I recall his voice. "Nice Pyrenees," he used to say. On my lap, in a blue rucksack, rests his urn. And as the baked Mediterranean landscape flashes past my window, the journey from France to Barcelona to here, to see you all, begins to lose the sense of time for me. Time even distorts until I'm not even sure if I'm even fully on this train. And all my memories of him are flashing, and there's so many. My thoughts get lost in the very same distant journey that actually my mother and father took so long ago. And even though the train is relatively straight the way it's traveling, I kind of feel like I'm suddenly spinning in this cycle of life. I hold his ashes against my belly, and I feel like I'm holding him like a baby bump. I feel like I'm pregnant. I think about life's inherent paradoxes and about birth and death, and the images through the window are just flickering by and blurring, and suddenly when I just think I'm going to lose my head and it's going to spin off, I completely just get grounded again, and I see this glimpse of this amazing field of sunflowers, that golden field in the French landscape. And I remember Dad always used to say, again, "There's a crowd of fans all looking at their favorite rock star." He used to say it all the time, and it was always funny. It was amazing. I couldn't believe I'd always fall for it each time, It was okay. But I think that was one of his many qualities, and I think it is of every great entertainer, is this ability to imbue the present with magic, and to everything that is mundane or everything that seems just the everyday of things, to just kind of create a spark. And Dad just did that. He had this ability to kind of give you a rose and all of a sudden you felt beautiful, or just say, "Hey, come, eat with us," and then you just felt loved. I don't know, and he did that with his music too, as we know. It actually reminds me, Sunflowers, of an event that him and it was a dull day in France, and we'd just been shopping at the French market, and we were a bit grumpy, and it was evening, and all of a sudden he just stopped the car at the middle of this little road, dirt road, and just walked out and just put the engine off, obviously, and then ran off, and I started screaming for him. My heart was beating fast and I didn't get any response or anything. And then out of the blue, he shows back in the car with a huge bunch of sunflowers, massive, and just smiles at me. And I just look at him and just smile back, and we didn't say anything, and no words were needed that night. The beautiful flowers adorned our evening meal, and we just felt light as can be. And as this train that I'm on is rattling to a tunnel, I see my father clearly in the blackness. Kevin was often and is represented as a dreamer, always whimsical and a romantic. My father was all this, although I believe he also really loved being useful. In fact, I think that's what he enjoyed the most. And whether it be in the form, again, of cooking a great meal or giving you a rose and all these amazing, just simple things, that he really believed that he was being useful. He really honestly did. In fact, he thought that everyone was way too busy being busy, and trying to control things that you were never going to be able to control. So as far as he was concerned, everything was going to happen anyway, so you may as well have a really good time before or when it happens, So, and just like a carpenter uses a saw or a gardener a rake, Dad chose his tools to ensure a good time, and we all know this, right? Great songs, killer outfits, great word puns, and so on and so on. Because history will take care of Kevin's musical milestones and merits. But my hope tonight is to reflect to you what you may have felt all along. Kevin lived every word he sang, every beat that he tapped, every melody was a carbon copy of his heart. And I can attest for that because I've seen it. I've seen his desire to write and connect to everyone, all of us, has been the compass to all the decisions that he's made throughout his life. And his decisions were based on this. He just wanted to write, perform, connect to us all so we could feel uplifted by him and his energy. And so as far as I'm concerned, there you go. What a useful life indeed, And now I look at you all and I know that so many of you have felt less lonely or more in love or maybe less in love because of his songs. So I know that his music lives on in all of you so much, and you all mean so much to me that for me, Kevin lives more than ever. Nights like tonight, it's just Kevin. And we who've had the pleasure of living with him here can really attest to that, of the nights that we've had in this beautiful bar. So finally, as my train ride, I have my dad. We're in Barcelona now. I put my dad's ashes on my back, and as we venture into the Spanish city together, on my back I suddenly feel the weight of carrying him, the pain and the lows and all the highs of his life choices, the responsibility of getting him home safely, the sadness, the joy, the humbling nature of life. And as we walk, I recall that Dad was cremated under a Chiron moon, the moon of the wounded healer. And now with wings singed by the sun, it was time for him to rest and let his music carry on his work. And I know right now he's looking at me saying, fucking get on with it, let the music be. So, no histrionics, no polemics, no pretenses, just always a privilege to be your daughter, and for teaching me that it's never ever wrong to love, love, love deeply, always. Then it will always be like you said, Daddy, something as opposed to nothing. Thank you very much.